We've got the $50 tablet Throwdown 2018-2019 edition. Which ones are you going to get for your kids, for yourself, and a lot more? And we're going to talk a little bit about tablets in the range and, of course, a full tablet guide next on Geekazine. Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers from Geekazine, Think Magazine, Put in a Geek. You got me where we geek out on everything. Nice merch you can get over at geekazine.com/merch. But of course, you can follow me on Twitter, follow me on Facebook, go over to YouTube, hit like, subscribe, comment, bell for notifications. You get the whole idea. We've got 5 tablets here this year. And of course, you remember the $50 tablet Throwdown from a couple years ago where we brought in a Fire HD7. We brought in some of these tablets that you see on Amazon, or you might be shopping in the store and all of a sudden you see this tablet on the shelf. It's like $40 for a tablet. How cool is that? We did the same thing. And here's what we've got for tablets. First of all, this is a tablet that came from Amazon, the Aoson or Aoson tablet. We've got the neutab tablet, also another tablet from Amazon. Third tablet from Amazon called the Fusion5. We've got the Lenovo Tab 4. This actually came from Walmart, which I bought outright. And then finally, from Amazon, their Fire tablet. And it's got some cool features to it. All of these have some cool features to it, and we'll get to that in a second. Now let's talk about the rules for these tablets. First of all, before I did up to about $55. This time I did things a little bit different and went on the higher end. So tablets are at least $50 to at most $95. The most expensive will be the Lenovo out of all of them. And the reason why I got the HD8 over the Fire 7, I did the review of the Fire 7 a couple of years ago. The processor has changed a little bit. Of course, the operating system has changed, but it's still going to be the same speeds and everything like that as these other 7-inch tablets. So there's a fair comparison. I wanted to step it up to the next version of the Fire tablet. You know, something that you give your kids, family members, or friends, or anything like that. So each tablet, we're going to go through the processor, we're going to go through the memory, and of course, I've created a full guide, tablet guide over at Geekazine, which you can go check. Of course, go down in the show notes and you'll see that. Just go over to geekazine.com/tablet guide. It'll talk about everything. It's going to talk about your iPads. It's going to talk about your Windows machines. It's going to talk about your Androids. All of these machines are Androids because the simple fact is that tablets on Android are a lot cheaper to make than a Windows machine, than of course, an Apple iPad. You can't get an iPad for that price. You could probably get an iPad 1. iPad 2s you can get if they have a little bit of damage to them. But for most of those tablets, you're talking about the $100 to $200 range for something that's a few years old. Same thing with Samsung. I did see one that was about $85, but one of the other requirements that I had to have on these tablets was they were able to support Android 7.0 or better. I didn't want to do anything Marshmallow or KitKat or anything like that because those are older operating systems. Want to make sure that you can at least get Nougat on these tablets. All these tablets have Android 7.0. Of course, the exception being the Fire tablet, because that's running on a different version of the Android software with the Fire operating system layered right over it. But if you do want to get yourself an iPad, it is one of those things that people want to get. You want to look for something about iPad 4 or better because you'll be able to update the operating system to iOS 12. Same thing with the iPad mini. You don't want to get generation 1 of iPad mini. You want to get generation 2 or better. And at the iPad 2 or 3, you can find probably for about $90 if you look really hard. And of course, make sure that you're on a respectable site. They're most likely going to be refurbished or used or something like that. But these dual core iPads will definitely run iOS 12, that being iPad mini 2, 3, and 4, and then of course iPad 4 and above. iPad Air, the first generation Air, is probably where you really want to go if you're going to get yourself a used iPad. But with that said, we're going to focus on these $50 to about $90 tablets right now. Let's get into it. First up on the tablets is actual. This is about $62. This is the Aoson S7 Plus Android 7 quad-core tablet with 3G phone call. It's a phablet. Yes, it has cellular ability to it. So let's take a look at some of the stats here. It's a 7-inch 1024 by 600 screen. It's got 1 GB of RAM with 16 GB of memory and 2 SD cards. It's got a rear camera and front camera, and it's running the Cortex CPU with Mali 400 GPU. Connections being Wi-Fi, BGN, and cellular SIM. And it's got about 3.5 stars over on Amazon, and I agree with what it is. It's a really nice tablet. First of all, it's a tablet that can actually do cellular, and you basically have to pull up on the corner here. At least it wasn't easy for me. There it goes. Pops right out. So what we got here, this is where the SIM goes. You got dual SD card right here. And then when you've got that all put in, you just pop this right back into place. That's basically the tablet right there. It is running, like I said, Android 7. Let's show you the system here. About the tablet, Android 7.0. Handles a lot of apps. Games do a good job on it. I have my QSC, which is the app that I use for mixing. And that loads up pretty well. Takes a little bit of time, as you can see, but once it gets loaded up and connected, it works like a champ. No problems right there. Same thing with my games. I like to play the Clans of the Clash. So calling that up onto the tablet right there, it's takes a little bit of time. It's not going to be the fastest thing in the world, but it's if I need to do a quick update or a quick attack or something like that, I can do that fairly easily. Like I said, there's camera in the front and the rear of this. The speaker, it's a single solo speaker, and it's right here where my thumb is tapping, as you can see. And what we've got on the top, we've got the charge option, which is just basically USB micro. And then, of course, a headphone jack for listening. We got Bluetooth, we got SIM card control, of course, data usage on there. It said 3G, but you can definitely test out a 4G option, see if that makes a difference. Battery loads up pretty well. And of course, that's about 5-6 hours for the battery. If you're running it on constantly playing games, checking Facebook, checking the web, or whatnot. And standard apps, I didn't see any bloatware on this. A nice little tablet. It's a 7-inch screen. We got a speaker in back right here. It's a nice little app to do some surfing and check and play some games, check email, all that other stuff. And this is the Aoson S7 Plus. Next up is the neutab tablet. This is actually one of the $50 tablets that I'm showing here today. Let's take a look at some of the specs. It's a 7-inch tablet, 1024 by 600 screen. It's got 1 GB of RAM, 8 GB of DDR3, but it also has an SD card. It's got a camera in the front and a camera in the rear. It's got the Rock chip quad-core 1.2 gigahertz. Connections, Wi-Fi, BGN, and it also does Bluetooth, and it gets about 3.1 stars over on Amazon. And with that said, let's take a look at this tablet. As you can see, standard 7-inch tablet right here. On the back, it's of course, new tab. We got the camera up on top, SD card right here. Up on top, we've got the charging USB, and then of course a headphone jack. Nothing on the bottom. On the sides, we have the power and the volume buttons as well. Let's go ahead and turn this puppy on to take a look how fast it does load up. I got some apps uploaded. Let's put in my security password. And this is the tablet. The one thing I don't like about this tablet is, as you see, when I start turning the screen, it definitely changes the color on there. So, but you know, for a $50 tablet, it's not too bad. Inside, we've got just the standard apps. There's no bloatware. Once again, these are all the apps that I put onto the system here. It does the games once again pretty well. Let's go back into Clash of Clans to show you the difference here. There we go. And I think it's got download content on there, so it's gonna do that again. Well, as you can see, it takes a while, but I definitely was playing some of the games on here, and of course using my mixer like I did with the other tablets. For a $50 tablet, it's not too bad. It's great for reading some email. Once you got the app up, it's not a problem. It just takes a little bit longer to do. Case is pretty sturdy. It fits in the hand pretty well, just like any 7-inch tablet. Once again, the battery inside, about 5 to 6 hours of power time. Takes about a couple hours to charge from 0 to 100%. And that is the neutab 7-inch Android tablet running 7.1 of Nougat, 1 GB RAM and 8 GB of storage right here. Next up, we move over to the 8-inch tablets. This is the Fusion5, and let's take a look at the specs right now. Fusion5, the $65 Android 7. It is running Android 7.0. It's 8-inch 1280 by 800 screen. It's got 1 GB of RAM, 16 GB of DDR3 storage. Does have an SD card. There is a card. It does have a front and a rear camera. It's running the ARM 1.2 GHz quad-core and Mali 400 graphics processor. It's got Wi-Fi, BGNN, and of course Bluetooth, and gets about 4 stars on over an Amazon reviews. So let's take a look at this tablet. All right, here we go. We got the Fusion5 on the back. As you can see, it says Fusion5. There we are. We got a camera on the back. We got the SD card up here. Same as the others, USB. We got a headphone jack over here. We have power, volume up, volume down. Nothing else to the tablet. Nice slick gray case, which is a little different, and it does fit nice in the hands. It feels nice as well. Let's turn it on. So this is the tablet. Screen's a little bit bigger. In fact, let me just show you the difference between screens. This is the 7-inch tablet as opposed to the 8-inch tablet. So you can see a little bit more screen space on there, bigger difference on that. We'll bring up the apps. All right, so as you can see, it looks a little, the screen looks a little darker than what I'm used to for tablets. Now here's the background. This did come with a couple apps here, but you know, nothing big. It was just different looking apps. All in all, pretty decent tablet to run around. Once again, 5-hour battery, a couple hours to charge. So this is the $65 Fusion5 tablet. I like how it feels, you know, in the hand, not only, but also the smoothness of the back here, the nice little gray look to it. The cameras are okay. It's not the fastest tablet in the world. In fact, it's probably slower out of all of the tablets, I feel. Don't expect this to be the power horse, but of course, none of these are going to be power horses as well. And that is Fusion5's tablet, and you can get it now. Next up, we have a tablet, and I do have to admit I cheated just a little bit. This is the Lenovo Tab 4 8-inch tablet. I got it at Walmart. This is about $99, but I wouldn't be surprised if it'll be on sale and a lot cheaper in the next couple days. Let's take a look at it. The Lenovo Tab 4 8-inch. It is, like I said, about $90. Android 7, screen size 8-inch, 1280 by 800 resolution. 1 GB of RAM, 16 GB of DDR3 storage. It does have an SD card attached to, or inside there. Cameras, front camera and rear camera. It's got the Cortex A53 processor with Mali T720 graphics processor. It runs 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, not 5, so it's not a dual band Wi-Fi. It does have Bluetooth, and it gets about 4 stars by you guys out there that own this tablet. Let's take a look at the tablet itself. and go from there. This is the tablet. Yeah, it's a little fingerprinty, but it works pretty well. Let's turn it on. As you can see, it's got a little glossier of a screen, but it's pretty bright. You can see it pretty easily. Going into the apps, we've got just the straight up full app group here. Nothing different. If we go into the game, of course, we can load that up. Let's see how fast that loads. And as you can see from the $65 models, it doesn't do that much different on speed, just a little bit faster. But it does have better processor and GPU in there. So gameplay pretty easy. It works well. You can see the screen pretty well. It's not that dark. It's actually a nice bright screen. The only problem I see with this tablet is it's got 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi rather than 5 gigahertz or dual band Wi-Fi. Charge is pretty straightforward. The battery is a little bit, I'd say about 7-hour battery as opposed to the other tablets, 7 to 8. What we got, once again, just like the other ones, we got the rear camera, and of course we got the front camera. We got micro USB and headphone jack, and then over here, that's where the SD card comes in, this little Lenovo thing. There it is. Or you can put in an SD card right there.
Also got panorama mode, which is something that the other tablets don't have. Not only the rear camera, but also the front camera.
I enjoyed this tablet, and I can see this part of my travel gear when I need it for controlling my mixer or controlling some IoT type situation, maybe lights or anything like that. Battery, like I said, it's got a pretty good battery in there. Charges fairly straightforward, a couple 2 to 3 hours, just like the other ones. And the screen is nice in different situations. This is the higher end of the tablets. This is the Lenovo Tab 4 8-inch. It's about $90 to $100 and well worth checking out. Finally, let's take a look at this. This is Amazon's offering for an 8-inch tablet in the Fire HD 8. So let's take a look at some of the specs here. The Amazon Fire 8-inch 1280 by 800 screen, just like with the Lenovo and the Fusion5. 1.5 gigabytes of RAM and 16 gigabytes of storage. Of course, there's also an SD card option in there. Front and rear cameras at 2 megapixel, both of them are. CPU is an ARM Quad 1.3 gigahertz, and the GPU is a Mali T720, just like with the Lenovo. It does have dual band BGN Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and gets about 4 stars on Amazon. Let's take a look at the tablet right here. So this is it once again. It's got a little bit glossier screen, just like with the Lenovo, but it's really nice to hold in the hand. Up on top, we have the USB, micro USB. We've got headphone jack, volume, and power all on top. On the side here is the area for the SD card, and you can put that in to expand your Fire. We got speakers on the side, on both sides, so it is running in stereo. But once again, if you put your hand there, you're gonna definitely muffle it. So let's go ahead and turn this on. I did get the $85 is the one that also comes with the ads, so you'll have to endure ads, or you can go ad-free for a little bit more. It's a great tablet. It's got a great battery in it. It'll last at least about 9 to 10 hours if you're using it, and then it'll sit and just kind of sit there for days on end. Apps, it does have the Fire OS, so it's got the Fire OS apps in there. It does run on an Android Nougat 7.1, but then the Fire OS is taking care of most of this stuff. Now, this is also what's known as a walled garden tablet, which means that it works in Amazon fine, and there's apps that you can get that go outside of Amazon, but there are apps that you cannot get. Like, for instance, I've been showing you Clash of Clans for that. That's actually one of the apps that you cannot get for this tablet, so I can't show you that game, but you can get other games as well It's got their own browser. You definitely can do a lot of shopping, get your books, get your videos, get your games, your music. And the other cool thing is this can become another Alexa. Cancel. So this adds right into your home assistant system, being the word that starts with A, which I'm not trying to say because this will respond to it. So literally I could see this maybe in the bedroom and set up so you can turn off lights from a bedroom or the kitchen or something like that. You can bring this in the kitchen and when you're doing some cooking to check some recipes. The browser works great, and like I said, there are some apps. I use a Tab app, which loads up fairly well. I have used the Fire tablet, the Fire 7, for calling up songs. So if somebody says, "Hey, I want to hear this song," I can call up the lyrics and play it from there. So there you go. It's games that load up pretty quick. So this is perfect if you've got the right game that you want to play. And it's in the Amazon library of apps. But the biggest problem is there are apps that I need that are only in the Google Play Store. They're not in the Amazon store. So this tablet, there's lots of things I cannot do with this tablet that I can do with the other tablets. So it's a great tablet. If there was a point where I could actually bring in Play Store, and you can do what's called side loading of the Play Store, so you can get those apps, but they don't always work all the time and very well, and especially if the operating system updates. Then all of a sudden you have to do this whole thing all over again. I love the tablet. It's a great tablet. It sits in my bag, like I said. When I'm doing music, I can put it onto a quick stand and call up lyrics as I go or whatnot. As a whole, the tablet in this walled garden gets really stifled. So there's a lot of things I cannot do with it, and that's kind of sad, because this is one of the best tablets for the $50 to $85 range. Out of all of these tablets, I would highly recommend it if it was the fact that I could actually get some of the apps that I actually use on a tablet like this. So this is it, the $50 apps. I mean, look at that. That's all this computing power they didn't have 30 years ago. I can hold it in my hand. Isn't that crazy? These tablets do well in their own right. They're not going to be the fastest things in the world. And of course, if you want fast, you got to get new and high priced. So, but these tablets, out of them all, I have to say that the Amazon Fire HD8 is one of my top picks, even though you can't get all the apps on it. It's got a good processor in it. It will get updated to the latest Fire OS on a regular basis because they go across the platform on that. And then, of course, you can do voice commands through the mobile assistant that starts with an A, which I'm not going to talk about, or else it'll activate this thing. And you can use this. You can put a couple of these tablets, one in your kitchen, one in the family room. That way you can surf, and when you need to turn off lights, you can do so. Or if you need to order food, you can do so, or turn on the TV or whatnot. So this would be the number one. Second of all, of course, being the Lenovo, it's a little bit higher price than I'd like it to be, but it does have a lot of great features in it, and it'll do the job. And then, of course, the Fusion5 being the third, the lowest of the price of the three, but it does a great job, a little bit slower than some of the other tablets. Out of these two, this one has the cellular service, even though it's 3G, but you still have an option on that, and dual SIM. That's pretty cool. This one works a little bit better than this one, of course, this being the $50 tablet and this being about $62. And then I'm guessing as the holidays start to approach, these prices will go down, maybe be part of deals and Black Friday sales and stuff like that. So watch, we'll have links for all of these in the show notes. What tablet do you use for your browsing, for your games, for your surfing? Was it under $100? Was it the $100 to $300 range? Or is it a high-end tablet? Let me know. Tweet me over at Geekazine, geekazine@gmail.com. Go over to youtube.com. Go ahead, click like, subscribe, and comment on the videos, and of course the notification bell for the next one. Till next time, you guys geek out and take care.